Welcome back, everybody, to the new Minnesota Vikings franchise here, where we are making some big changes. Players are leaving, coaching staff is leaving, Spielman is out, and we have Chad Greenway and all former players who are going to be our new GM, helping us rebuild this team and kind of bringing back the energy that we used to have that has been severely lacking this year and even a little bit last year as well. But we're going to start off with the negotiation of players here. Kind of see a little bit where we stand with some of the players and start to go ahead and weed out some of the others. So Everson Griffin, I talked about in that first episode. We're not going to bring him back. I wish him all the best in real life, making sure he gets right. Barr will most likely be a sign and trade. We're going to wait on Patrick Peterson, see a little bit of what regresses, and then come back to him in the offseason, similar to Xavier Woods here and Conklin. We're not going to bring back Richardson, at least not right now. We'll wait for offseason for McKenzie. Barry, we're just going to take a look, see what's in the offseason. Dede can go. Gallman can go. A lot of these guys at the end here are going to be players that we're going to mostly move on from. There's not much. Greg Joseph, we maybe will bring back if there's nothing better in free agency. Herndon can go, kind of a little bit of a waste of a trade there, but you end up having to do what you have to do mid-season. But yeah, the rest of these guys are all going to be not released because we're just letting them go. They could go all to free agency. Hope they find somewhere better. The one that I would like, I'll wait till the offseason for Barr, just because what he's asking for might go down. So that's all we have really to look at here in season. We're going to go ahead and jump into the postseason and then into the off season. So in the playoffs, in this version of the NFL, you have the Chiefs that are the number 1 seed. In the AFC, the Bears somehow made it in the NFC, so they will get the byes. But looking everywhere else, looks about right. Looks very similar. The only difference I really see over in the NFC would be the Bears being switched out with the Packers. AFC, the Jaguars are up there. It's a bit of a surprise. Browns kind of had a hit or miss season. Yeah, a couple interesting things there. We do now need to go in here and manage our staff. There we go. Mike Zimmer, I really liked you when you came in, but have been pretty disappointed the last couple years. So you are now fired. And to continue what we do every single year, we are firing coordinators and bringing in new ones, so the players have to learn everything. And player personnel is basically, that's going to be the previous players, along with Chad Greenway, that is going to be coming in and helping hype this team back up and get us ready for the new season and kind of bring back what we used to be. I think we'll go ahead and go with Thomas Peters here to be the new head coach. Wish there was a way to kind of change him a little bit, maybe make him another former player, higher offensive coordinator. Again, we want that West Coast power. So there is Jamie Rodriguez. It's an option. So there's Lamont Booker, only 21. So not as much staff points there. We're trying to build this team up as quickly as we can. So I think we're going to go here with Jamie Rodriguez. He's going to bring in that West Coast power run. He also has a defensive scheme of 4-3, cover 3. So kind of works a bit there. So we'll hire him. Now we need to hire a defensive coordinator. And most of the time I like a base 4-3. Looks like the highest one we see so far here is Floyd Brewer with the base 4-3. Any other base 4-3s? No. So looks like he's about our only option there, so we will hire Floyd Brewer. So there's our new coaching staff, which is going to help try to influence some other players in coming here or coming back. All right, so that's about all we needed to do during this week. Yeah, I was just double checking there before I simmed. Check on that playoff bracket here. And moving on, we had Tampa Bay beating the Eagles. They'll now play the Bears. And looks like the Cardinals beat San Francisco. Now play against the Cowboys, who beat LA, the Rams. We got Chiefs, Bills, Jaguars made it through again. So Jags and Pats. That interesting. Don't know how the Jaguars made it all the way in this sim here, even though they had to fire their head coach, who was first-year coach, didn't even make it through one full season. Rough. Into the NFC and AFC championship games, you have the Cowboys and Bucks, which is very possible. Looks like the Bears did not make it through, which seems fitting considering how bad they actually played this year. And the Chiefs and the Jaguars. The Jaguars just keep pulling it off. So, very interesting. I'm going to go with the Chiefs in the AFC, and I'm going to go with the Bucks in the NFC. We'll have a rematch here. Battle of the Madden cover, but I might also very much be wrong, and knowing Madden, it will probably do something weird, so it's most likely now going to be the Jaguars and the Cowboys. Playoff bracket. It is the Jaguars and the Cowboys. What did I tell you? Madden being Madden here. Definitely not going to be a possibility in real life. Maybe the Cowboys, but the Jaguars are not going to be making it to the Super Bowl. Let's check a bit on the Pro Bowl. See if we had any make it to the Pro Bowl this year. I know in real life we did. We had Dalvin who made it, Jefferson, and I believe Hitman made it as well. So Dalvin made it. Jefferson did not make it. Michael Pierce made it, so that's a difference. And no Hitman, so not as many people made it in this version of this season, but we at least still had a couple, so that's nice in terms of progression for them. So let's check out here. View yearly awards. We'll see how accurate this ends up actually being. Patrick Mahomes is your MVP, with your Coach of the Year being Urban Meyer, the guy who was actually fired in real life. Gotta love Madden. Offensive Player of the Year for the AFC, Patty Mahomes. Emmanuel Ogbah, the Defensive Player of the Year. Bit of a surprise there. Being a graduate from Oklahoma State, though. That's very nice. Najee Harris, definitely one of the options that will be a Rookie of the Year in real life. Patrick Surtain, the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Patty Mahomes, Best Quarterback. Najee Harris, Best Running Back. Great rookie year for him. Demarcus Robinson, Best Receiver. Creed Humphrey, Best O-Line. Myles Garrett. Bradley Chubb, who's also a little bit more of a D-line kind of guy. He's more of an edge rusher, but it's Madden. C.J. Jackson as the Best DB, and Best Kicker was Brandon McManus. Over in the NFC, Greg Zuerlein, kicker. Tom Brady, Offensive Player of the Year. Fred Warner, Defensive Player of the Year. Justin Fields was the Offensive Rookie of the Year, so he played the full year most likely for the Bears, which might have been the difference. Maybe that's why they made it all the way to at least the playoffs and then lost promptly. Jamin Davis, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Dak Prescott, Best Quarterback. Dalvin Cook, ya boy, cooking it up. The Chef, Best Running Back. Amari Cooper, Best Receiver. Zach Martin, Best O-Line. The top two lines were, Cowboys killed it. DeMarcus Lawrence, D-line. Shaquille Barrett, linebacker. AJ Terrell Jr., Best DB. And then Greg Zuerlein. Any Viking? Nope. Sounds about right. So those are the award winners for this year. We'll see if they're accurate. I don't think they're going to be extremely accurate, especially with the Coach of the Year. That's just funny. And the Cowboys ended up winning 28-17. I'm sure that'll make Cowboys happy, the Cowboy fans happy, as they have not had a great run of recent, but very similar for the Vikings. So players left to negotiate with. Let's take a look, see if any of their demands kind of changed, what their ratings are at. So Anthony Barr did regress a point, and what he's demanding did go down, so that will help us in terms of a sign and trade for sure. So let's take a look. So he went down to a normal dev, so that's nothing good. Lost some tackle, pursuit, injury, and hit power. Ratings still look basically the same, which would be good for us trying to sign and trade him. Most likely I'll be trying to use him to trade for maybe a corner, maybe draft picks. We'll see what we end up getting offered for him here. Try to make it enticing because we don't want him to just say no. Of course, he does just say no. We'll take a look here. What is the franchise tag? 1 year, 13.7. I doubt anyone's really going to want to try to pay for that. So most likely we'll need to try to sign him in the offseason and then maybe trade or just see what's available. Patrick Peterson tanks in ratings, goes down to a 69 man, so definitely not going to be re-signing him. Man coverage went down 12, which is really the only thing left on his skill set that was good. So we will not be bringing back Patrick Peterson there. Xavier Woods, I kind of want to see what we have in free agency and talk with him then. Conklin, he wants 4. Well, he's a little bit under 5 a season. And with Irv Smith, I don't think it would be a smart idea to have 2 tight ends being paid. Mackenzie Alexander, also not very good. We're not going to re-sign him, at least right now. That taken care of. We'll go on to that next week. See what we have available to us in free agency. Start cutting some players as well. Free up some space on this roster, both in cap space and just spots to bring in some new talent. Alright, so we have Cousins and Mond. Definitely want to trade away Kirk Cousins. I hate when Madden tells someone like the Bears, who have what now would be a second-year quarterback, they want to trade for Kirk Cousins. There's no reason why they should do that. So I'm just kind of going to jump through here, see who all will be an option. Say we'll put him on the block, and then we'll see what people start offering. Rodney Smith. Don't want a Rodney Smith. If anything, I would have had Rose. Don't need to cut anyone there. Receiver, definitely need to cut some. We cut a lot of people here. Why do we have a 59? Alright, now that that is all cleaned up, we are running a little low. We'll definitely take a look at the receiving class. Kind of just see what we could add there. Some depth tight ends as well. Oh, line's looking a little thin. Good there. We need some edge rush for sure. We'll keep him around because he will most likely go to the practice squad next year. If he could take several bullets and walk away, I don't know if he really walked away, but come away okay, then you could definitely stay on this team. Honestly, I don't really want either of these linebackers here. We definitely need to check out the linebacker class here in free agency. Doesn't give me the option to get rid of Conley. Oh, because I think he's injured currently. Yeah, so we can't get rid of him yet. We'll keep, obviously going to keep Kendricks. We'll keep Dye. Jazz Surratt we'll keep for now. He's a rook. Jordan Miller must have been a practice squad player. Is he decent at all? No. Don't want anyone on this team who at least the corner position, who doesn't have at least 70. We'll keep the guys we've drafted for now. Don't want to be losing any cap space with the penalty, so we'll keep them. Metellus we'll keep for now, and then we don't have a kicker. We do have, I guess we had a punter on our practice squad who's not good, so he will also be released. Clears up just a little bit of cap space, not a whole lot. Really the main cap hit is going to be Kirk Cousins. So we'll send past the first week here of free agency after taking a look obviously at free agency and kind of just see what our options are, what people are offering, maybe see if we want to do a manual trade. Jacoby Myers has some decent route running ability, good hands, but he lacks some speed, so I'd rather try Osborne there. Now DJ Chark comes in with a lot of speed. He's more of a deep medium route runner, has a bit of release as well. Of course, he's out for a little while, but he does have some potential. So I'm going to offer him a small contract. A little bit more of like a prove it kind of contract here. See what he thinks about that. 2 years, about 13 mil. It's a very low offer there, but no one's offering him, so I would like to get that offer out. Dalton Schultz is available. Big Stanford fan, so I always like seeing some guys there. Conklin does have a couple offers in, so we won't be going after him. So at least go with that for now. Now we need to take a look at the offensive line. That's always been an issue with the Vikings. The only kind of stopgap that I would do here would be like a David DeCastro. Again, I believe another Stanford guy here to really upgrade over Udo, because that's just not good. Let's take a look here at David, see what his ratings are currently. Another very balanced guy, bring a little bit of help for the pass blocking. I don't believe that there was an offer for him yet. Don't want to be rude to the guy, but also we need to make sure we're saving some cap space, especially since we have to sign basically a whole new secondary. There was also Eric Wilson, who played really well for us in previous seasons. Check on his ratings. Doesn't provide much cover ability there, but we will need all new, or not all new, at least 2 new guys. So I'll put in an offer here too for Eric. See if he would like to come back. Bit more of an aggressive offer because we need to make sure that we land some guys here. Von Miller, Campbell, Anthony Barr. No offers for Barr, which would be nice to do a sign and trade with him, especially if it's a cheaper contract too. Probably won't like it too much, but there's no offers yet, so we'll put in a small offer for him. That's a bit too small. I don't think he would ever entertain that. So let's bump this up a bit. We'll start with a 53. If we end up not getting him, it'll be fine. Just kind of ran through a bunch of the different options for edge rushers. We're going to stick with what we have offered so far. Take a look at the corners, because that's where we really need to make the big difference here. The corner class the Vikings had out there, or the cornerback group that the Vikings had out this last year, was just awful. You have Casey Hayward, who is available. He's on the slower side, and he would take much of our cap room that we currently have. So we'll see what options we have elsewhere. Brian Poole, what does he look like? He looks more like a zone. Actually pretty well balanced, decent speed, good acceleration. He honestly would not be a bad corner. Definitely would be our highest rated corner for sure. Let's see if we could work out a small deal with him. Kind of just, that's the whole purpose of this offseason right now, is just to see kind of what best deals we can get, especially with our current cap space. I want to see if we could bring people in this first round. Then after the first round, might try to see if we could try trading Cousins, see if anyone's interested, if anyone has the cap space to even take him on with his very large cap space. Rhodes closed here. Again, doesn't have much speed or tackle ability, so he wouldn't be a good slot guy. And we know that there's a lot of speed in the receiving talent in the NFL right now, so not having a guy that has some decent speed could really end up hurting us here. You have Jason Verrett. Yeah, it's got a little bit of speed. Doesn't have any offers yet, I don't believe. Yeah, no, doesn't have any offers yet. So again, let's offer another small contract here. He's currently injured. Maybe that would be something that would be in the talks, and why people haven't already offered him. And safety. We definitely do need a safety. We have Harrison Smith for now, but we don't have a free safety. Washington has offered Xavier Woods, so let's see. Devin McCourty hasn't had any offers. He's a bit on the older side, but he still has some speed, good cover ability. Is more along the lines of what I like in the safeties, being a little, or for free safeties more specifically, someone that has some speed and cover ability. I don't need them to be much like Harrison, where they're going to be down in the box, laying the wood down or anything like that. So I like my free safeties have a little bit more range here, bringing a veteran presence, kind of a little bit more as a stopgap there. That's where we're going to stop right now with the free agents. We're going to see what we get after the first week, but I do want to take a look at the Scout College players. So obviously we're going to need quarterback. I have taken a look at a couple here. I'll show you my favorites. So 3 different guys, all first round guys. Obviously Dwight Sanders, not sure exactly which way we will pronounce that. But it looks like he probably would be the best, but he's a top 5. B short throw accuracy, A mid. He has good throw on the run, awareness. From what we know from the NFL Combine, his 40-yard dash isn't bad for a quarterback. 4.78. Throw power good. We probably want a little bit more than good. Great to elite would be preferred. David Larkin, B deep, B short. Also good throw on the run, throw under pressure. Awareness is also an A. Solid throw power, so worse than Saunders. Speed very similar. So still so far, Saunders is the number 1 quarterback here. Conrad Fletcher, A short, B deep, A throw on the run, A throw under pressure. We don't know the awareness. Speed, again, very similar. Throw power, solid. So the last 2 quarterbacks, very similar. Would probably end up preferring Dwight Saunders, although he is a strong arm archetype. I like more of the improviser and scramblers, especially with our current offensive line. We need someone who can move a bit. Granted, all their speeds were pretty similar. Did need to keep an eye here on Travis Clayton, just because we could use some youth in our offensive line, upgrades anywhere along the lines. Doesn't look like anything spectacular here in the ratings, but being a 2nd, 3rd round guy, not bad. There is Carlos James here. We obviously, not always, sometimes always need a linebacker help here. He has really good awareness. That's about it. He would be a good candidate for bringing in for a workout, one of the 3 guys that we can bring in during the offseason, just to see if we could find out some of the tackling or coverage ability for James there. Middle linebacker, we have Sean Hilliard, and we know he has B man coverage. Doesn't always mean it's going to be great coverage, but B man, B tackle could be intriguing. Again, would be a guy considered to bring in during one of the workout slots. Devontae Meekins. Wow, I should really read. Meekins, B zone, or not, wow, B man, C catching, and then B kick return. So probably decent athlete, B hit power. Without knowing the other coverage rating, zone, or even press, kind of hard to make that 1st round pick there. And the safety class as well was really poor. So we'll take a deeper look when it comes to before the draft on later round picks. But you definitely want to hit with your 1st round picks. If you can, your 2nd round picks as well. I know in the previous years, the 2nd round draft picks haven't been great. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on over to the 2nd week. See if we're able to get in any of those guys that we put a smaller offer to, and then kind of see what we can make work with the rest of our cap space. All right, so we have brought back Eric Wilson. It's fantastic. He's older, but needed. We also got David DeCastro, so already upgraded our offensive line, which is fantastic, and brought in the first of our cornerback class for this year. I want to start looking now at what our options are with Cousins, whether it's going to be we trade him to a team that can take on his cap space, with the current cap space that they have, if we need to make a trade for a player. I kind of just see what our options are with him, because definitely we're not wanting to keep him around. Steelers are an option that would be looking for a quarterback. Right now they have Marcus Mariota. that's about it. Marcus Mariota. Let's see what their options are. They don't have much of a cornerback class or team for us to try to pull from. So we could check, because it shows that they would have cap space. If they'd be willing to trade a first-round pick for Kirk. Kind of a bit of a stretch in real life. Not sure anyone really would. They're not really looking to do that either. Some sort of fairly realistic deal here. Second and a future 4, just because Cousins has struggled so much in the big-time games. See if this is something they'd be interested in. And they are. Kirk Cousins is no longer a part of the Minnesota Vikings. Wish him the best in Pittsburgh, but we needed some cap space to really make a dent here on the roster. So after trading him away, we now have $40 million in cap space, which is going to allow us to kind of ensure we get some of these players here, possibly even look at other options. So if we go back to free safety, or even just safety in general, so I want to take a look, see if there is anyone a little bit younger, decent. Not really. So it does look like currently that is going to be our best option for free safety. Be a bridge with Devin McCourty. Come in here, we'll give him a little bit more. Want to try to get him into the lowest of the green, just because it's a 1-year kind of situation. We don't want to bankrupt ourselves this year, because we do need to sign a lot of different players, and that would get us there. So let's just go back to all of our signings here. Jason Verrett, again, would be more of a bridge. Let's see if we bump this up to 3. Obviously, the Vikings have paid a lot for cornerbacks in the past. Peterson, they gave about $10 million to for just playing last season. So it's something that we know that they do. I'm going to make it 8. There we go. Gets him to 73. So 70 is about the cutoff there for the green. DJ Chark would be a better option than Osborne. He does have better speed, better route running, be a deep route runner, but I'm not too sure we would need the deep route runner. But we could use DJ Chark for here. What is his height? 6'4". Okay, so we would be able to use Chark for would be having Chark and Jefferson on the outside, put Thielen in the slot. I know the Vikings did that a couple years ago. Every now and then he does also go back and play in the slot, and he does really well there. So that would be a great option. Let's get this up to 15. We'll see if he goes with that. Anthony Barr, again, is one that we might end up trading, but for right now, we need 3 starting linebackers. So bringing him back wouldn't be awful. Doesn't mean we would end up keeping him throughout the whole year. We do need a kicker, and they have Young Ho Koo. And we could use a good corner, or not a good corner. We could use good corners. We could use a good kicker here in Minnesota. The team has struggled enough with that. So let's just 3 years. They take to stick around for a while. Let's lower a little bit of the signing bonus. Normally, I don't like to give a lot of money to the kickers, but we're going to do that for good luck here in Minnesota. Let's see. Need a guy who hasn't given an offer yet, just because punters I don't feel really make that big of a difference. So a punter, I'm okay with paying a little bit less than the kicker. No offense to any punters out there, but it's kind of just the way I think about kicking. I think we'll go again to the next round of free agent signings, see what we get, see who's left, kind of go from there. All right, so we do end up getting DJ Chark, so we're definitely good there at receiver. Anthony Barr is coming back again. We might not keep him for the full season. Might not even keep him till the season, but for now, definitely wanted to bring him in. So now for these private workouts, we definitely need to take a look at a couple guys. I would like to spend it on Carlos James. We could spend it on Sean Hilliard just because we know we need some linebacker help. And I've never found that anytime you actually select guys that you end up getting the report back or increased completion on everyone here. We will add Meekins as well. And now that we have all the new players added so far in free agency, I want to go look at the roster again, see where we need to add depth, maybe even find a spot starter. So obviously we need quarterback. We know that's going to be more of a draft spot. Running back's good, fullback is good. Receiving core is now fantastic. I don't even think we need to look at drafting anyone. We have a lot of 25-year-olds though. We do need some tight end help. We could take a look, see who all is available. Let's see. We don't necessarily need to sign anyone to be backup lineman right now. We could take a look, see what all is available. More so a pass blocker that is on the bench. Could be an option there. I want to go ahead and move DJ Wanham over to right end just so we could get a better look at what the roster actually looks like, because he would be playing more in that right end spot rather than the left end spot where Daniil would be playing. So now we have two guys there. We could probably use at least another one person. Definitely want to get at least one more person. Probably in the around 72 overall rating, around where Wanham is. D tackles, we don't need any help there. Linebackers, I'd like to spread these guys around, so I will move Eric Wilson over to left back, or left outside linebacker. Fun to have Eric Wilson back. I really liked him. It was the previous year when he was one of the starters. I really liked him. He played pretty well. So now we have basically the whole crew's back. Obviously, Barr may not be staying. We'll see what we end up doing with him. We still need to try to get Verrett signed. That's for sure. And we did not get our free safety signed either. So we need tight end, edge rush, and corner and safety. So, of course, the Eagles coming in late with a big offer. Verrett wants a little bit more as well, so we'll just bump this up to 4. Really looks like it is the only offer that we can do here would be for McCourty. We do 1 year, about 8.5 is 91, which does put us even below the Eagles. So it's a 1 year deal. We could go a little bit larger. Hopefully you find someone in the draft in the next year. See what that brings us up to. 95 overall. Still below the Eagles. And even bringing this up doesn't even mean we're for sure going to get McCourty here. Bring that up to a 101. And that does push us over the top. Samson Ubakam. Western Washington has a little bit of some finesse, block shedding. Be a decent guy to have as some depth. Don't want to spend too much on depth players, especially ones that might not see the field too often. Of course, you never know with Daniil. He does have some injury problems. We'll raise that up just a little bit. Make it a 2-year, $10 million offer. And then also take a look through the rest of the draft here. Second round, third round, all the way down. See if we find any guys, late round gems that we like, especially the positions that we are a little bit thin at. Alright, so Carlos James is one of the ones that we had brought in. Doesn't look like we got any new information from him. Really makes it hard to make him a top 5 pick when we know we need a quarterback. So it doesn't look like we're really going to be going for him. Look at Sean Hilliard. Don't really believe we got any more information from him either. And then we brought in a corner. was Meekins. So it doesn't look like we got any information out of any of the guys that we had brought in, which I don't know why they even have us bring in guys for the private workouts, because I rarely ever see we get any new information from them. Just running through, taking a look at some of the tight ends, and Jeff Flanagan showed his rank change over season was up 22. We know he's a really good medium route runner. We don't know anything really about the run blocking skills besides D run block power, but tight ends rarely have anything great. He's extremely fast, pretty strong. For tight ends, they list him as elite. So it could be a solid option. He's a 3rd, 4th rounder. Definitely going to put him on my list. And then Michael Lucas. Always love looking at tight ends late. B, awareness. A, injury. A, run block. D, stiff arm, but that's okay. Take a look at some of his ratings. He's a slow dude. He ran a 4.93. Not as strong as the previous tight end we looked at, but worst case scenario, he's more of like a fullback type situation. He'd be a tall fullback, but would strictly be used for running situations. 6'4", 245 pounds, 21 years of age out of LSU. I'll add him to the board as well. Again, another 3rd day prospect here, Melvin Weathers. His rank only changed 2 over the season, but he does have A, pass block finesse. With him being lower in the draft, I'm perfectly fine taking a shot with a 5th, 6th, or 7th round pick. He does have 30 reps, which isn't bad. He's one of the fastest left guard, or is the fastest left guard, at least during the pro day, 2nd fastest at the NFL Combine, so we'll add him to our list as well. Here's a diamond in the rough, minus the injury, which is a bit concerning, but Dalton Smith, rank change over the season, 25. He went up 25 spots. He's a 2nd to 3rd rounder, but lead block A, pass block A, stamina A, all solid. 36 reps on the bench. He's not a very quick guy, ran a 5.22. However, has some acceleration, being the 4th and 2nd in the 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle. We will add him to our list as well. Here's a bit of an interesting guy here in Isaiah Pearson, who's projected 2nd to 3rd round. He went up 45 spots over the course of the season. He has pretty good hands. We know C-man. We don't know much about anything with his press or his zone. Awareness is also a little bit low, but he's an extremely fast guy, fairly agile, not extremely strong, but 6 foot, 210, out of Oregon, 22 years of age. I mean, he can't do much worse than some of the guys on our lower end of our cornerback roster right now, so we'll add him to the list as well. And that ends up rounding out our favorites here. I only have 22 players on there, kind of a wide different range. Obviously quarterback we need to go early, and I got a couple other guys as well from a lot of different spots. Mostly all of them are going to be over on defense. That's what needs the most work. We have a lot of stars over on offense, but we need a few more over on defense, especially with some of our best, our highest ranked players on defense kind of getting up there in age. And it looks like we got all of our guys. We got a new punter. We got a depth rusher. He'll probably play both sides, kind of go around. We have a new spot starter in Devin McCourty at free safety, and Jason Verrett to help round out a bit of our corner class roster, whatever you want to refer to it as. I guess you could say a really good cornerback class in terms of free agency. We'll see if we could add any in the draft. There were a couple that we added that seemed interesting, but that was about all we needed to do when it came to free agency. We signed everyone that we really wanted to, but with all of that said and done, I think the only thing really left to do is to go to the draft and complete the final adjustments for this last off-season, or this current off-season before the new year starts. Take a look after then if we need to make some trades and who's still left in free agency, if we need to fill out the roster a little bit. But I think the draft is where we need to head to next. And welcome to the 2022 NFL Draft. First up on the clock is the Jets. I'm gonna pause the draft here just to think, see if it would really be reasonable for us to go ahead and jump up. Also, what all it would take for us to even jump up to that number one spot. Obviously, they have Dwight Saunders being number one in the class. He does have really good skills, that A awareness, A throw on the run, even has A trucking. We know he has A throw accuracy medium, B short. For all we know, just looking at that, it could end up being that Larkin has the same if Saunders' deep throw accuracy ends up being a B as well. Considering we don't know what Larkin's throw accuracy mid is, makes it very difficult with this form of drafting scouting in the Madden 22 rather than previous Maddens or even earlier in this Madden. Just want to take a look at maybe some of the notes, see if there's something we could gain from looking at those. Lightning quick release, which is honestly really, really good. I am curious, just taking a look at the trade, where we would be for just, I don't know, giving obviously our first round and pick 6 plus, I don't know, maybe a third or fourth rounder. I just kind of want to see where that gives us. We give a 1, 3, and a 6. And just like that, we are moving up to the number 1 overall pick and the 22nd, not the 22nd. We would be way back in time with the 22nd, but in the 2022 NFL Draft. Let's go ahead and make our selection. We already know who we're going with. We need to make sure we get a good quarterback who could lead us into the future and bring home a ring as quickly as possible. And from this draft, it looks like that would be Dwight Saunders here. So we're going to go ahead and make that selection. Has 78 speed, so he's not a burner, but has a little bit of some ability to get out of the pocket. Probably wouldn't be running any sort of read options or anything with him, but we do have Mund on the team with higher speed if we do want to bring in a running quarterback. We do know that he does have 90 throw power. However, he is only a normal dev, so a little disappointing there. We'll definitely want to take a look at Larkin after the draft to see what he ends up being. And I do not see myself trading back up. There wasn't a whole lot of talent that I saw in the first round that I would want to go after. So I'm just going to kind of jump through here. We'll kind of scroll through the first round a bit, see who's drafting who, and we'll get on to that second round pick. Sean Hilliard goes to the Eagles. David Larkin is going to the Rams. We'll take a look at him after the draft. And we are now into the second round. The Jets go with a defensive tackle, Craig Hackett, to start the second. Another DT goes right after. I believe that's the first running back going to the Giants. Second running back, Colts. Definitely don't think they need another running back, but Madden for you. And now we are at our pick here. So we're just going to jump in, see who we have available on our list, see if there's anyone up top that we really like, see what we want to do from here. So Travis Clayton is available and Chris Chancellor is available. Those are the only two that have the ability to really be second round picks. So Travis Clayton, we're picking shortly. It doesn't have them going for a while. So Chris Chancellor isn't supposed to go for 15 more picks, and then Travis Clayton for 20 more picks. So what I think would be the smartest thing to do here would be to trade down. So the Browns are offering us quite a few picks, drop down to 54. So we get about a mid-round pick. Seattle would be dropped down to a mid-round pick, and we get a 4 next year. That's not going to help us out a whole lot. Similar there with the Dolphins. It really looks like the Browns are going to be the best option because we'll pick up another 4 and a 6. So I think that's what we're going to do. Benji Jackson goes, and now we are back on the clock. Both of the players that we were considering are still there. And I don't really want to overdraft one of these guys here. Take a look again, see what we have in the trade downs. Vikings have always in the past traded down or collected a bunch of picks. Hopefully, if we do that, it'd be for a good reason and not to draft someone who ends up never playing or progressing as a player. So we'll just take a look at what we have being offered to us. Yeah, not much that I would really be intrigued by with what I'm seeing there. Seattle is the next pick, and we would pick up, what was it that they were offering? Was it a future pick? I think it was a future pick. Yeah, it was a future 5. Not really worth making that trade then. And because of that, the only thing, or not the only thing, but the best... okay, well, I hit the wrong button, and we ended up drafting Travis Clayton, so... There you go. We might end up replacing one of our interior linemen. Worst case scenario, we have some depth. But yeah, I was actually going to draft the defensive tackle, but I clicked skip instead of select player. So there we go. That's our next pick. On our favorites list, we only have 7 players left, but we only have 5 more picks to make. So right now, we are the 22nd pick in the 2nd round. Really the only... We do have a center here, Dalton Smith. Let's see. There's not really a way to move these guys around. There's Isaiah Pearson and Martavis Turner would be options in this round, or in this kind of area of the draft. I would want to spend more of a third on Turner just because we don't know the coverage ability there. Then there was Dalton Smith, which I remember had some really good blocking ratings. So he had A lead block, A pass block, A stamina. We don't know the other information, but we know that he's strong. He has good agility. He's not extremely quick. He's known to attract flags, but that's common with Vikings linemen. And motor is always running hot. I think he would be our best pick in this spot. So we will select Dalton Smith. And he's a hidden dev player. 88 strength, not too bad. We'll find out more after the draft, but really good player to pick up there. I'm happy about that one. All right, so if we jump ahead, I believe it was the 5th round, or 4th round. It was the 4th round. We don't have a 3. There is the Jeff Flanagan, who we did like. He had the really good medium route running. He's young. We don't know anything about his ability to run block, and we did pick up a tight end. So we don't need to draft him and the other tight end that was a later round pick with a really good run blocking ability. However, this guy is really quick. He's strong. I would hate to lose out on a guy like Jeff Flanagan. But we do again have that other tight end, Michael Lucas, who's definitely more of the blocker, at least from the ratings that we see, with A run block, A injury is really good, B awareness good, but he's not that fast. He's not extremely quick. He doesn't have a very good 0 to 60. And he's not extremely strong either. He had 20 to 19 reps. If we take a look back over at Flanagan, who's really good size as well, 21 years of age. He doesn't have great spec catch, but he does have higher bench press. Doesn't always relate to good run blocking, but he could be really good, especially with only having Irv Smith as the number 1, who has the potential to be really good. Could be someone we can miss out on. Isaiah Pearson and Martavis Turner, I'm not extremely intrigued with them. So if we could jump up into the 3rd round, I think that would be fantastic. I am curious on where they have Jeff Flanagan going. So if I just run through here and try to find Flanagan. So they don't have him going for another 54 picks. So it's late in the 2nd. It would be about 4th round. Let's take a look at tight ends. There are a few that go before him, so I'm going to kind of just go through the draft, see when there's a run on tight ends and make a move then. Our first tight end goes here to the Lions, Braylon Windsor. This is not that far into the third. Just jump back again to the tight ends. I want to see how many more are in front of him. So they have a second to 3. So I think after Shane DeMarco, we need to make a move up to make sure we get Jeff Flanagan. I do really like the skills that I see from at least the scouting that was done. Alright, so our rivals, the Packers, end up drafting Shane DeMarco. It's about mid-third. Currently the Saints are up next. Could be an option to go ahead and move up now. I'm going to take a look at, not that you could always trust, the current breakdown, how much further until they think our boy Flanagan is going to get drafted. So they have him 28 more spots down. We're at the 17th pick. It'd be cutting it close, and I would really hate to miss out on Jeff Flanagan. So I'm going to take a look here at the Saints. I don't believe they would go drafting a tight end, especially after drafting one last year. But I definitely want to take a look just to see if that's someone that they would be interested in. So the Saints, they do have Troutman, and I really liked him last year. Actually, he's been there for a couple of years now. Time flies. But good ratings, at least a kind of tight end that I would want, honestly. He has decent speed, good hands, but can definitely help block, which would be fantastic. So if they happen to draft him, then I would try to trade for their tight end. But I don't think we need to worry about the Saints. If we listen to what the game has to say, if I go over to the draft board again, it shows that the top fits for him would be the Cowboys, the Titans, and the Panthers. So those are the teams we definitely needed to look out for: Cowboys, Titans, and Panthers. And are they showing anytime soon? The Titans are soon. So I would like to hopefully not let anyone take him, get to the Titans, and then maybe make a trade there. Alright, so the Titans are up now. Let's take a look, see what they're needing. Alright, we were able to work out a deal. We're going to send them our 4th round picks. They'll drop back to our 4th. We're sending them our one of our 6th round picks and a future 5. And we will now draft Flanagan. Really hope he ends up being worth it. Alright, Jeff Flanagan. You are selected. Another hidden dev player. That makes it a bit worth it. 85 speed, 78 strength, 85 acceleration. Out of Penn State. Welcome, Jeff Flanagan. And we still have our 4th round pick. Take a look at our draft board again. Just want to see who we have still on our list and who would be worth maybe making some trade ups. We have 2 picks left. There's a couple guys available. So none of these guys are going to be a 4th round pick, be a 5th or later. So we'll probably end up even just trading back from that 4th round pick, picking up a couple late round guys, maybe even end up picking up all of them. So we're just going to skip ahead in the draft to our next user pick, make a trade down from there. It looks like Seattle really wants to trade with us, but we want several picks in the end of this draft. Doesn't look like that's really going to be much of an option. You get a 5th from the Chargers and pick up a 6th next year. We'll just go ahead and do that. So these are the guys we have left. Both of them we could end up picking up. Michael Lucas, I think I would prefer to get him first. So I'm just going to go ahead and draft Michael Lucas there. As you could tell, pretty slow. He's only a 73 speed, but he's going to be strictly a blocking tight end for us. Possibly even move him to fullback and eventually take over for CJ Ham. But from looking at the entire rest of the class in the offseason, these are the only guys that really looked like they were still somewhat worth drafting. So we'll jump ahead all the way to basically the end of the 6th round, see if our guy's still there. If he is, we'll go ahead and pick him up. If not, we might randomly select someone or just trade away the pick. We'll take a look here. We'll just see if anyone really wants to use this pick for something here. Have a smaller draft class than many of the more recent picks, but I'm just looking to trade out with the rest of this draft. Pick up a 6th round next year from Seattle. Just please them since they kept trying to trade with us. And we will end this draft and take a look at the skills of the guys that we brought in. All right, here is our draft class. Honestly, one of the smallest I have ever really had in any Madden. And of course, we all want to know about our new quarterback, Dwight Saunders, coming in with -2 morale. Going to need to fix that as quickly as we can. We do see here Improviser and Scrambler. The two archetypes I prefer are just right under Strong Arm. So that, not bad at all. Decent start. Normal dev, don't like, wish it was at least star, would prefer higher than that. The ratings are not awful, okay? So he has decent throw power, pretty good break sack to start off with, throwing the runs pretty good as well. Gonna need to work on the accuracies, but he's gonna have time to do that. Speed isn't fantastic, but he does have 88 acceleration, which will help him get out of the pocket quickly. Change of direction's also really good there. Stamina's really good. Injury's fantastic. Carrying is not that good, so he's definitely going to need to slide. He does have a tight spiral, so that is nice there. He's a balanced quarterback style, which won't really affect us as we're going to be playing every game. In some future series, we'll probably do a little bit of a hybrid of simming and playing. He's 22 years old. I don't remember, does it say if he's a right-handed player or a left-handed player? I don't remember. I guess we'll soon find out. But there's your new starting quarterback, Dwight Saunders. I don't like him wearing number 14, so we're definitely going to change that. We got to make sure our new starting quarterback is looking good day one. So we're going to go in here, make a few edits. When I see 14, I just think of Joe Webb. So we're not going to have him rocking number 14. Now the question is Saunders going to be an Adidas guy, a Nike guy, or is he an Under Armour guy? Oh no, he's definitely going to be wearing the zebras. There's your new starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. Let's take a look at the rest of our players as well that we brought in. So we accidentally selected Travis Clayton. That is my bad, but he's hidden dev, so we at least have that. Take a look at the ratings. So he's not a run blocker. He's definitely going to be a backup tackle for sure. He's got good strength. Definitely needs some time to get better, especially in the run game. But backup tackle, solid, like that. Then we went and drafted Dalton Smith, which was the lineman that I wanted to get, and he's a 74 overall hidden dev. We did really good in the hidden dev department here. 88 strength. He again is more of a pass blocker than a run blocker, so we'll need to kind of test out, see how much that affects our running game, because we definitely don't want to lose that. But we'll need to check him versus Cleveland. That would probably be who he plays under next to in the preseason to see what we end up wanting to do there. We could also check him out against Bradbury as well. There is no problem in having a battle up front to make sure we have the best out there. And then we finished up the draft with 2 tight ends. We went and drafted Jeff Flanagan, who we ended up trading for another hidden dev guy, wearing 89. We'll see about that. 85 speed, 77 catching, 66 run blocking. So far, he is our best run blocker on this team. 85 acceleration. And remember, his medium route running was really high, which apparently for a tight end is 66. His catch in traffic is 80. So that is fantastic. His lead blocking isn't great. Does it show impact blocking anywhere? unless I am blind, which I can be, I don't see impact blocking that. There it is, 68. Not bad. Pretty good there. Change of direction isn't bad either. Decent carrying, good injury. I like that. I do want to see what other numbers we have for a tight end. You see, I rock the kind of the raw outfit there. Not a whole lot of accessories. Just tape the wrist, call it good. And then we also picked up Michael Lucas, another tight end, and he is our blocking tight end, strictly blocking tight end. And he doesn't even have as high of a blocking rating as Flanagan does, so really did great there. Impact blocking is 74, so is higher there. Lead blocking is a 65, so I think it's about on par. Of course, he's not very fast, doesn't have great hands or route running in this case. However, he's 6'4", 245, so I don't think he would be much of a fullback. I am just going to toss him over there real quick just to see what his rating changes to. So if we check him out at fullback, he's a 68, so basically the same overall rating for both of those positions. We might end up moving him to a fullback spot once Ham gets a little bit older and his contract expires, but we'll move him back to tight end and call it good there. And then I did want to check out Larkin just to see how he ended up coming out. So he went to the Raiders. And Larkin was a 71, so lower overall, but he was the hidden dev quarterback there. Lower throw power there, 3 lower. Medium accuracy is about the same, but the short and deep accuracies are lower. Speed really wasn't that much better. So besides the fact that he's hidden dev, I think we got the better quarterback, but it is what it is in that situation. But that is your new Minnesota Vikings draft class, your new starting quarterback, Dwight Saunders. So that is the wrap here on our offseason. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are excited. We will be starting in the preseason next episode. Not sure if we're going to just do a combination highlights of the full preseason. Most likely be what we do there. If YouTube lets me start streaming, I will definitely look into streaming the preseason as well. But make sure you guys are liking, commenting, subscribing to make sure you're sticking around for this Vikings rebuild as we get this going in the first real game, looking at the new players and the new team, new coaches in the next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you're sticking around. This sounds like it's going to be a real fun, especially seeing what this new quarterback can do. But we'll see you all next time. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.